So, one of the witches in Shakespeare's Macbeth speaks the lines, "By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes." And that gives us the title for my World Book Day recommendation. And here's the cover for the original 1962 edition of the book. Okay, fantastic, dark fantasy set in the American Midwest in the 1950s, I guess. And the main characters are Will Halloway and Jim Nightshade, uh, two young men, both on the verge of turning 14. And one night the boys hear eerie carousel music and they creep out of their homes in the dead of night and they witness a mysterious carnival arriving by train at 3 o'clock in the morning. So, right in the middle of the night, there's this mysterious carnival setting up. And of course, they're curious. Of course, they want to know more because, who wouldn't? And uh, the two boys, that's Will on the left. He's a bit more kind of cautious, whereas Jim's a risk taker. And Jim's almost a kind of, how shall I explain? He he wants to be older than he is, and he wants to be wise beyond his years, and he's prepared to kind of do what it takes to find out a little bit more, and that puts him at risk really. And Will's a bit more cautious, and he's constantly trying to look after his friend and make sure that he doesn't get into too much trouble. But inevitably, they can't help snooping around the carnival, and they end up basically finding out the secret of the carnival and the spell that it works on its customers. And this secret that they uncover means that the owner of the carnival, Mr. Dark, wants to hunt the boys down and silence them and stop them from talking. So that's the main gist of the story, really. But it's about some really big themes. So it's all about turning from childhood to adulthood, and it's about growing old, and it's about handling fear and fighting temptation. And of course, it's about the eternal battle between kind of good and evil and dark and light. So it's all here, but it's not heavy. It's a real page turner. And I wouldn't say it's scary or a horror, but it's very creepy and atmospheric and memorable. And Ray Bradbury's writing style is really rich and unusual and mesmerizing. And I can't recommend it highly enough, really. Many people consider it a classic, and I think it's for good reason. I keep showing you these dust jackets and covers of books because I love cover art on books, and I just think it's a bit underappreciated. That's one of the reasons why I like books is because of the cover art. And I know it says they always say you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but I always think it adds something to my appreciation of the book. And that's the current cover. And the English department has got about 10 or 12 copies of this one. So if you're curious and you want to read a chapter or two and see if it's as good as what I'm saying it is, then by all means talk to the English department and see if you can borrow a book. But it's well worth a read, and I'm sure once you've read it, you'll never really forget it. Okay, so thanks for listening, and happy reading.